Hey guys, Cal here, and today for this episode of Tech Talk, it's going to be all about setup and what you should bring specifically for enduro racing. And so these are just going to be my kind of little tips and tricks of what you need for enduro racing and what you should, kind of the bare minimum of what everyone should have. At least I think so, and what my setup is. It's kind of one of those things, people kind of debate it a lot. Is what you need to bring racing, if you need to bring a bunch or a little bit, or what's the right amount. So I'm just going to tell you guys what I personally think is the right amount of tools and gear, and what I bring with me every race. The first thing here isn't going to be about gear or tools or what you need to bring. It's going to be something you need to make sure you do before the race even happens, like the day or two before. So what you're going to want to do is get your bike, make sure it's ready to race. That's the biggest thing, is you want to make sure your bike is running super good. There's nothing wrong with it. Everything is kind of tuned up and ready to go and work the best it can. Give your bike a good clean, go through it, wipe your chain off, grease your chain, check your brakes, make sure you have pads, make sure your brakes are centered, that they're not rubbing or anything like that, that they're all good to go. Check if they need to get bled. Make sure everything like your cranks and your pedals are on there tight. Kind of give the bike a whole once over, make sure everything's solid and ready to go. Double check your suspension, your air pressure in the back and front. Make sure that you're going to want to make sure it's where you want it, set up proper for the right course. Tomorrow my race is going to be kind of a chunkier course, a lot of roots and small rocks, so I took 5 psi out of the back to kind of make it a little more supple, and so it's not so rampy. Check your tire selection, your pressures. So tomorrow's supposed to be kind of a muddy race. It's supposed to rain a bunch today, maybe tomorrow too. So I just put them on yesterday. The WTV breakouts, kind of a good all-around tire for tomorrow. So I have brand new rubber front and rear. You don't have to do that every race, but definitely make sure your tires are good. That's the contact point your bike has with the ground. That's where your traction and everything comes from. Tomorrow's supposed to be kind of a muddy race. It's supposed to rain a lot, so I put on these little fenders here, just to help protect the bike kind of from getting too muddy, from stuff getting flung up into the bottom of the tube here. It also helps stuff in mud, rocks getting flung up into your face. It also protects the fork seals and stanchions a little bit, just from getting hit with pebbles and mud buildup there. Alright, now the first thing to do with gear is, with enduro racing, it's endurance racing, you're out there for usually a whole day. You're going to want to make sure that you have hydration, storage, and fuel. So what that means is you're going to want to have water, a place to keep tools and extra stuff, and also a little snack. So what I have chosen to do here is I use one of Camelback's new fanny packs. I really like this a lot. I used to ride with a bigger Camelback actual backpack, but on long days on the bike it would start to hurt my back and it was too hot. So I bought this spring. They're awesome. Takes the weight off of your shoulders and back and puts it around your hips. Then this one's awesome too. It's still pretty small, but it can carry 1 liter of water, so I have enough water for a whole day of riding. It's got 2 big pockets, so you can put stuff in there with smaller mesh dividers in one of the pockets here. But this is awesome because you still have your hydration and stuff built in, especially for me with my bike, the Da Vinci Spartan. There's no bottle cage mount, so I can't put a water bottle on the bike. Super comfortable, and I can wear it every day. And also racing, it's nice to have too. Also, something along with hydration is you're going to want to make sure to bring some snacks, something to fuel you. I like the honey stingers, I like their energy gels and the waffles. So on shorter races I'll bring one of those just to eat on the transfer or on the lift or something like that. Alright, now I'm going to go over kind of what the stuff I bring with me either on the bike or in my fanny pack with me. And the first thing is an inner tube. And even if you do run tubeless, you still need to have a tube, especially racing, if not every ride, just because it's happened to me. Tubeless, hit a rock on the sidewall, cuts it open. You're done. Some holes are just too big for the sealant to reseal itself. It just sprays all out and you're done. If you have a tube, you can just pop the tire off, throw this in there, finish the race, get down, finish the ride, whatever. You're gonna be all right. So the next thing kind of goes along with that also, and these are tire levers. These are Park Tools ones. I love these ones. I've never broken a pair of these. I've broken some other cheaper ones, just getting tires on and off of rims. But this bike, especially with the WTBs and those race face wheels, they're really easy to pop tires off, and you can usually do it by hand or with just one. I usually only race with one just because my setup I can get away with using one just to pop the bead off. You know, they're super small, they're plastic, so they don't weigh anything. But these are awesome to have. The next thing to do with tires is going to be CO2. So you have the canister here, and you have the little valve actual thing here. So what I do is I use the 25 gram ones, which are meant for 29ers, but for a higher, I run 2.5s with the 650V, so they're kind of higher volume. It's nice just to have the 29er one, so you know you're going to have enough CO2 to fill the tire up decently. That you're not, if you mess up a little, you're not going to be out of air. I like these opposed to a pump because it's a lot smaller, can be a lot less reliable sometimes, but you just kind of, you know, maybe practice a couple times, that way you kind of know what you're doing. But these are easy to screw it in, and then pop this little tab up here, like that, just pop it up, throw it on there, and it inflates the tire. These are nice to have, you know, you don't want to be using these to inflate your tire, but if you're out there and this is what you're doing to fix a flat on the side of the trail, these are awesome. The last thing kind of with tires is this little white thing here, and what this is it's a Park Tools emergency tire boot. So you know what this is it's not a patch, but what it can do is say if you get, like I was saying before, if you get a cut in your tire and you have to put a tube in, and it's a big cut, you can put this on the inside to kind of brace the tire. Now this is kind of the most important thing for any mountain biker to have, and that's a trail tool. So this one is from Crank Brothers. It's the M10, so that means it has 10 different tools on it. It has Allen keys all the way from 2mm all the way to 8mm, so that's really everything on the bike. Plus it has a T25 Torx, a flathead, and a Phillips head. So you know that's everything you're gonna need basically on most bikes. This can basically do everything you're going to need to do to make a fix or an adjustment on the trail. So these are pretty cheap too. You know, this is something you need to go out and buy if you're riding mountain bikes. So now on to some things that you're going to want to have with you, but you don't want to, you know, maybe, you know, if you're at the race or out for a big ride, leave in the car just to have, you know, for setup and stuff like that. The first is going to be chain lube. So I use the ProLink chain lube. It works really well up in Colorado where it's kind of dusty. It's not super waxy. I need a shock pump. Shock pumps they're specifically designed to adjust air suspension. You know, they're super low volume but high pressure, so they're not going to hurt the seals or anything with the valving inside your shocks and forks. They're pretty, you know, a decent one isn't too expensive, but if you have a bike with air suspension, it's not a bad idea to get one of these, especially if you're racing. That way you can make small adjustments. A lot of them, they have this one, it reads by 10 psi. Super easy, you know, you just throw them on. Works like any other pump. It has a little bleed button here. These are nice, then you know you can adjust your suspension yourself, fine tune it, adjust for different conditions and different courses too. Next, what you're going to want to have is a track pump or a floor pump or whatever you want to call one of these. So this is a design pump. This is one I just use all the time. It's either here in my shed or in my car. But I always bring this one with me to races just because, you know, these are super nice to use. You can throw them in your car if you need to, you know, throw more air in your tire if you have a small leak or something like that, just so you don't have to worry about it. These are awesome to use. And like I said before, whenever you can, use this. Don't use CO2 because CO2 can actually it leaks off. It's not the best to use, but this one's awesome. It has tips for a straighter and a Presta valve. It just threads right on. You know, you got the dial here, and this is going to be a lot nicer to have than say a hand pump or relying just on CO2 to make sure your tires are all inflated. So those are just my kind of essentials that I bring with me to races, and I think everyone else should, just because that's just kind of what you're going to need to keep your bike running throughout a race, and just kind of keep it running in general. Make sure you have everything and you're prepared for anything that might happen during a race run. You just want to make sure that you're prepared. That's the biggest thing for racing. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Have a nice day.